Hey everyone, I'm Matt with Lamont Brothers, and today I want to talk about designing an addition. There's a couple things that you want to think about when you're doing an addition. One is, are we building up or are we building out? Another one is to define and identify the big obstacles and cost items that you're going to encounter. And the third is never to underestimate the value of a good design. So this is a very common question I get all the time. Should we build up or should we build out? And there's a lot of different factors that go into answering that question. With building out, you want to make sure obviously that you have enough space on your property to build out. If you're going to do that, you want to investigate the site conditions. You want to look at the type of soil you have. Is it very rocky? Is it steep? Is there a hill? Are you going to have a lot of excavation and engineering cost to doing that? We also want to look at where's the sewer line if we're putting in a new bathroom or kitchen. How far is it going to have to run to that existing sewer line? If you're building up, the things you want to think about are, how does this integrate with the house? Are we going to build on top of the kitchen and dining room, and how do we get to that new space? And if we do that, how is it going to affect the first story that we're building on? Very often we have to upgrade the structural members of the first floor to build on top of it. Houses are not often built with a first floor that is ready to put a second story on top of it. So often we're having to upgrade that structural work. Another thing you want to think about is identifying the big ticket items, or items that could potentially be an obstacle or a roadblock along the way. Some of those things are the utilities. If we're doing an addition, we're building out from the house, how far are we going to have to extend the sewer line, the electric, and plumbing? The sewer is usually the big one. The plumbing and electric can be run pretty easily, but tying into that existing sewer where it goes back to the street is something you want to make sure you're identifying and knowing how you're going to do that before you get too far along. Permitting is another thing you want to identify early on, and it seems obvious, but sometimes it's not identified till later in the process. You want to make sure you're staying within those setbacks for your jurisdiction. You have firewalls where applicable, and you're adhering to all the local codes. Trees are another thing that you want to potentially look at. A lot of areas have restrictions as to how you can work around big, large trees that are on your property. So you want to identify all those and make sure you know exactly what you're going to have to do during that construction process. So the last thing I want to talk about is never underestimating the value of a good design. I'm sure we've all seen additions that seem like they were just stuck on or fell from the sky and landed on a house. That happens when you don't plan out far enough and go through the design process, drawing everything out and making sure that it solves all the problems with your existing house, gets you what you want in your addition, whether it be additional bedrooms or bathroom or living space, and that it integrates in a good way with your existing house. If you're adding on to your house, you're changing it. You want to make sure that those changes make sense and are cohesive so that your new space flows and fits with your old space and does what you need it to do. We're going to be doing a lot more of these videos in the near future, so if you like, check back or subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also go to our webpage and see a lot of real-life projects that we've done there, and check out the costs and the process. If you think you're ready to get started, schedule a consult with us, and we'll come out and talk to you about your project.